please ask Lord Narayan how many millions of births I have to take in the material world before I can go back to sea. So he says, oh, I can do that. So he went to Lord Narayan, and he met with Lord Narayan, and then at the end he said, by the way, I met this Brahmin on the way here, and he wanted to know how many births he had to take in the material world before he was to go back home to you. And he says, well, when you get back, tell him he's got at least 1 million births. And Narada Muni was a little bit credulous about this. He said, oh, is that right? And so then he said, well, I also met this cobbler who was under a banyan tree preparing somebody's shoes, and he wanted to know also. Well, tell him that in this very life, he'll be coming back home. And Narada Muni couldn't understand. He couldn't say this cobbler just sitting there preparing somebody's shoes, and this great Brahmin down by the river. Why is this difference? And so Narayan said, well, if you're a little bit dismayed by my answers, then when they ask you what I was doing, you just tell them that I'm threading an elephant through the eye of a needle. Narada Muni thought about that, and he said, oh, okay, I guess I'll understand. So he went back, and he met the Brahmin, and the Brahmin was looking for his spiritual chariot to take him back home. He thought, I'm going back right away, right? So Narada Muni's come back to pick me up. And so he said, Narada Muni, so what did the Lord say? And Narada said, well, I'm afraid I have some bad news for you. He said, you're going to be 1 million births. And the Brahmin said, that's impossible. Can't be 1 million births. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, all these things just right, saying mantras perfectly and everything. He said, you couldn't have gone to the spiritual world. And Narada says, Narada's very humble anyway. He says, okay. So he says, then if you were visiting Narayan, tell me what was Lord Narayan doing when you were there? And so Narada says, well, he was threading an elephant through the eye of a needle. And so the Brahmin said, that proves it. That proves that you never saw Lord Narayan, because no one can do something crazy like that. Big giant elephant through a little eye of a needle. Okay, you're a hoax. You're not Narada Muni. I'm going to go back to doing my Gayatri. So then Narada said, and he walked along and he went to find the cobbler under the tree. And the cobbler again very still, and Narada Muni, well, how great it is to see you, such a wonderful soul. And so he said, I don't really like to bother you, but did you see Lord Narayan? How is Lord Narayan? What's going on there in the spiritual world? Tell me all about it. And did you happen to ask him my question? And Narada says, yes, I did. And he says, you will be going home by the time all the leaves fall off this tree. And so the cobbler jumped up in joy and said, oh, I'm going to go back and see Lord Narayan. Oh, I can't wait to go back and see Lord Narayan. Oh, thank you so much, Narada Muni. And he says, tell me, please, what's Lord Narayan doing? I want to prepare myself. What was he doing when you were there? And so Narada Muni says, well, he was threading an elephant through the eye of a needle. And the cobbler said, oh, God, it's so wonderful. Lord Narayan is so fantastic. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Narada said, well, don't you think it's a little strange that he was threading this big giant elephant through the eye of a needle? And the cobbler says, no, that's nothing for Lord Narayan. He can do anything. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You know where this big giant banyan tree that I'm sitting under came from? A little teeny seed like that. From a fruit. There's little fruits that come on the banyan tree. And there's thousands of them. And every little seed, which they're the banyan trees are so big, but their seed is like, you can hardly see them. They're so small. And so these little fruits that they grow have tons of seeds in them. And there's tons of little fruits. And any one of these little seeds contain a big giant banyan tree. So if he can put a big banyan tree in a little teeny seed, why can't he thread an elephant through the eye of a needle? So in this way, Narada Muni understood. See, the absolute faith that a devotee has in the Supreme Personality of God, that he is supreme. Supreme means that the supreme means topmost, greatest, that he's inconceivable. Chutya, chintya, he can do anything, all powerful. And nothing is beyond the Supreme Personality of God. So people always ask, can the Lord create something that he can't lift? I've heard that question before. And the answer is, yes, he can do that. But then he could lift it. So he could do that's the meaning of the Supreme Personality of God. No one who is equal to or greater than. That's that personality. So this Srimad Bhagavatam is helping us to understand who the Supreme Personality of God is. So it says here that he's created the time factor and he's created material energy, and it works under his time factor. But he is not under any of that. He is not bound by the material energy. He's not bound by the modes of material nature. No, but he's created that.